Guys, that's your command today in Raid Shadow Legends. Welcome back for another champion guide. I'm glad to have you guys here with me today. Hopefully the video finds you all doing well. Today is a big day, guys, because we're going to talk about one of my favorite epic nukers inside the entire game. Arguably the best epic nuker in the game. To me personally, I put him up there on that pedestal with Genbo, right? Genbo, we've done a video on him already here on the channel. We're approaching 100 guides already at the time of this recording. So we're getting up there, guys. Trying to double up whenever I can. But anyway, yeah, Genbo's an absolute beast. He's my favorite, personally, attack-based nuker out of all epics out there. But my favorite go-second nuker, or a go-first nuker, is Magnarr. Magnarr is so freaking good, and in today's video we're going to talk about why. I'm going to show you a build for the arena in PvP or PvE damage, so you can use them in dungeons and Doom Tower with this build. But there's only really one small change you need to make to take advantage of all the HP burn synergy and the debuff spread that he has as well. But first, before we get to all that stuff, let's go ahead and go over his kit. First off, he's an HP-based champion. He is one of, if not the hardest hitting HP champions, including legendaries, out there in the game. That's how good this dude is. On the A1, he has a single hitter. We have a, 65% chance of placing a decreased defense for 2 turns when booked. Has a 100% chance instead if the target is under an HP burn debuff. On the A-tune, percussive pound is his big, heavy hitter. Now, the multipliers on percussive pound are a 0.22, but you're placing an extra hit. What does that really mean? It means it's a godlike damage rating according to hellhades.com, which I can absolutely attest to. So godlike damage on the percussive pound, again, is placing an extra hit on enemies without HP burn debuffs. Has a 50% chance of placing a stun debuff for 1 turn on enemies under HP burn debuffs. So there's 2 ways that we can utilize this ability. Way number 1 is in the arena, where the only thing we don't want to do is set him up with an HP burner to get the maximum damage. Now, I've seen players just out there just trying to, mess around, do something a little bit different, and they do set him up with the burner. Then he comes in there and either kills them and potentially, or doesn't kill them and potentially stuns them. But I think it's safe to say that everybody wants that extra hit from this champion, right? That's a lot of damage. So we don't want to set him up with the HP burner. Nice and easy for PvP content in the arena. Me personally, this is just my personal preference. There's no right or wrong way to build any champion in this game. But for me, I'm kind of ignoring accuracy when I'm building my Magnarr, right? And I'm just building him to be an absolute nuker, because that's where he is so incredible. He also has great damage multipliers on his single target on Fan the Flames on the A3. Attacks 1 enemy, applies a debuff spread, taking 2 random debuffs from the target, placing them on all enemies under HP burn debuffs. Also increases the duration of HP burn debuffs on all enemies by 1 turn. It won't spread the CC debuffs. This is a very powerful ability, especially in Hydra Clan Boss. A lot of people don't think Hydra when they think of Magnarr, but I've seen people, again, run him with extreme effectiveness alongside a burner in Hydra. The only downside is with a burner on the team, you're leaving a lot of damage off the table as well with this A2 potentially, right? Because we're not going to be able to land this done in most situations in PvE content, and, we don't get that extra hit. But the debuff spread is truly amazing, right? So if you have a burner on the team, like a Walking Tomb Drang or something like that, 2 like Spirit Affinity powerhouses, not only in terms of damage, but the debuff spread, taking 2 random debuffs on a 3-turn cooldown and placing them on everybody with the increased duration is actually a really powerful ability, albeit, again, it's not one that I personally take advantage of on my account, but it bears mentioning. On the Flesh Melter, this champion heals by 1% of their max HP every time anyone in the battle takes damage from HP burn debuffs. That's pretty incredible too. He can heal himself up all by himself when either an ally or an enemy, a boss, a champion, it doesn't matter, takes any damage from an HP burn. There's no cooldown, so it happens every time a burn ticks. Really, really cool. You can do some fun things with this champion in Spider. You can do some fun things. I mean, God, he's great for damage pretty much anywhere, right? Again, Spider, Ice Golem, easy to keep alive. It's nice to have a damage dealer who's super easy to keep alive because he's HP base with a lot of HP. 21k is a lot, especially for an epic. Increase allied defense in Doom Tower battles by 30%. This makes this guy an absolute stud in Doom Tower as well, helping with the survivability of your entire team. So overall, again, really a top-tier epic champion in my book. I'm going to show you how I have him built out. Where am I going? What am I doing? Actually, I do want to sneak a peek at who I have in the old Soul Merchant. All right, nothing to write home about. I'm tempted to buy the Vlad, but, you know, I'm trying to save up here. So I don't know about you guys, but I'm always kind of semi on the fence. I'm like, well, I really like the new Vlad, but nah, I'm trying to really contain myself and save up for champions that I use, like, you know, my go-tos in the arenas, my Duchesses, my Siphies, my Rhodoses, or Acrisia in PvE content. Anyway, I digress. Let me show you my Magnarr, guys. It's a pretty simple build, to be honest with you all. I use this, again, both in PvE and in PvP. I would only change one thing if I did want to get that debuff spread and the decreased defense on the A1, and that would be the banner. So a nice place to start with this champion is that banner. I would just simply go accuracy instead of HP. He's an HP-based champion, helps with survivability and his damage, obviously. So I went HP on the banner. That's going to maximize his damage and his survivability, you know, for the 5th time. So we have crit damage on the amulet, and then we have HP, obviously, on the ring as well. We have speed on the boots. We did get the HP ascension, too. I think I have enough potions here. I farmed Sand Devil overnight, so I can go. I'm going to take it to 2 stars right now, so I get 6% HP as well. Beautiful, beautiful thing. There's Savage. I have a Savage set on him, as you guys can see. We have HP percentage on the chest. We have crit damage on the gauntlets. And then we're looking for crit rate, crit damage, and speed, because we don't want them super slow. 186 is, you know, it's a little slow for my liking, but again, this is a go second champion in the arena, and I think that 186 is fine around the teams that we're going to see him as well in Doom Tower in today's video, so you guys will get a chance to take a look at him there. Again, looking for some crit rate here on the weapon. Now, I did notice I have Savage, excuse me, but then I have a perception piece, and I have a crit damage piece. Ash, you need to choose, man. You need to pick and choose here. So let's see this chest piece. We have 5% crit rate. Hopefully I can easily find a crit damage, because that's the NUKER special, right? Going with 4 pieces of lethal or savage, and then going with a 2-piece set of cruel or crit damage. Sorry, drawing a blank here. All right, so crit damage. What do I have for chest pieces here? I have attack percentage. You can't see it. Attack percentage, and attack percentage, of course. Let's see if we have any decent HP percentages, because again, perception and crit damage are both tremendous on this champion, but I don't want one of each. Let's go ahead and put this on him instead, and there we go. Now we have a new problem. At least we have the extra crit damage. Now he's 262, but now we're not crit capped. We're at 97% crit rate. So let me go find a piece of gear that will fix that. Be right back. All right, guys, so I had to actually swap out of crit damage and go back to perception. So we get a little bit more accuracy, which is nice. And then we also get the a little bit more speed, which is really nice. But I guess that can kind of a nice lesson for especially newer players. I need that crit rate to be 100%. The last thing that you want, and it can be the difference between a success and a defeat, especially in PvE content when you have multi-battles on, that just that one hit that does not land the critical hit, or especially in the arena as well, I guess equally, right? Well, if you don't land that crit against, you know, the reviver, then you might be toast. You know, that could be the difference in a battle. So I really want to make sure that we get that crit rate up to 100%. So let me go on blessings here. We have Crushing Rend. You can see I have a 5-star awakened Magnarr, right? So I think that Crushing Rend is an amazing, amazing option for a damage dealer. For me, it's really all about Crushing Rend or Cruelty, right? And on Cruelty, we're decreasing target's defense by 2% per hit, up to 30% for champions, 15% for bosses. And then on the Crushing Rend, well, what is this doing? What am I doing? There we go. The first 2 hits each round will ignore a percentage of the target's defense, a 1% for each 25 levels. This gets really good, especially if you can get him to 6 stars. It's one of the best, most powerful blessings for damage dealers inside the entire game, bar none, having every hit ignoring a percentage of the target's defense. So someday, I will pay if I see it in my shop or whatever. I will try to get that final 6-star. It's also a great reason if you can get that 6-star, right, of Crushing Rend on a Magnarr, it's a great reason to have them on your wish list of champions too, if you don't have, champions that you use more often. But it's only a 2x chance, but it's better than nothing, right? For Masteries on this champion, we have them in kind of an arena build for the Masteries here. These are actually, it's an old Mastery build that I hadn't touched because I think it's just fine. We went with the crit rate, the crit damage. We come down here, get Ruthless Ambush, get Opportunist. We come down with Kill Streak. We come down with Helm Smasher, right? Which I think is a very, very kind of typical looking build. Of course, you could argue maybe come down, pick up, bring it down instead of Opportunist, which I might agree with you guys with. But for the most part, I like this setup here. You could also go defense. You could go with maybe Tough Skin, get a little bit of defense, go Blast Proof, come down with Resurgent, come down with Delay Death, and come down with Retribution. Maybe land a couple of decreased defenses off that A1 as well, which also hits pretty hard in its own right. Or you can do what I did here. I foregoed the accuracy. Instead, I stacked up another 1,000 or 810 HP on this champion. I came down with Exalted Death. I came Arcane Celerity, Evil Eye, and Sniper to help a little bit with that A1. Again, especially against bosses, it's nice to have the decreased defense on this champion. So, guys, those are the Masteries. Those are the artifacts. Let's take this dude into battle, man. So we have Mighty Uko in the lead for buff removal and to have a Reviver on the squad. You'll notice that we do have him in the speed lead as well. I think that is a misnomer and maybe a misconception that Go Second teams can't have speed auras or can't be fast. Obviously, again, a lot of you guys already know this, but a speed aura is still going to benefit you on a Go Second team. Even though you might not be taking the first turn, it's still going to benefit all your champions throughout the duration of the entire battle. It could be a massive difference maker. So I still like going speed aura, sometimes even over defense, because Seeker does have defense by 30% in arena battles as well. But I still like, I prefer personally having that speed on my team. I want to get back to my champions, especially like Magnarr, more often, right? So we have Seeker on the team as well. Seeker's a great Go Second, a great Go First champion with the turn meter boost, but a great Go Second champion because he has this passive. Heals his champion by 20% and plays an increased defense on all allies for 2 turns when he's hit with a critical hit, right? So that's absolutely fantastic. Now, I feel like having him in the last position, though, isn't ideal. So what I'm going to do is, because we want that to trigger, we want his critical hit to hit first. So this is actually a good lesson for you guys on how that works too, right? So we're going to have Seeker in the second position. That way on AoE attacks, he'll take damage a second, and he'll protect Vogoth and Magnarr on the team. All right, so here we go. Everything's looking good now. We have Vogoth as our healer, Magnarr as our damage dealer, and Mighty Uko again for the revival and buff removal on the enemy team. Let's see how we do here. So they go... we actually go first, which is not, again, another good reason to have the whatchamacallit, right? To have the speed aura. So we come in here, we do land a couple stuns, which is nice. That's why we have Mighty Uko on the team. And here we go. No debuffs on the enemy team. We are going against a couple bolster sets, so keep all that in mind. But here we go, Magnarr. It's your time to shine. Boom, boom, and hey, 1 dead. We take a big hit, but again, we have a healer on our team. We have Vogoth, so even though we're taking massive, massive hits here from their DPS, we're still looking absolutely fine because our Reviver has, well, close to full health. So we can revive the rest of the team. And think about it this way. I mean, Hefrak, he nukes hard, and he got a bunch of hits off against my team. So does Rhonda, right? But again, that's the power of having champions like Vogoth. We had a bolster set on the team. We have plenty of ways to mitigate damage, and that's what it all is about. So now we're going to go ahead and use the A3, Fan the Flames. We're going to try to take care of their Reviver in Rock of Viletide. So she is dead. Fantastic stuff. And now we can just kind of put it on auto here and wait till we get back around to another percussive pound. The beautiful thing about this squad, again, is that we, we're super tanky and we have a reviver. So even if somebody dies, we're going to be A-okay. You might have noticed that Seeker is pretty dang squishy, which is because he's actually in my clan boss build. So he's built to actually do a little bit of damage and to be fast. So it's not really the most orthodox arena build that you've seen. But again, this team is incredibly effective. And this is no slouch of a team. They got Ronda, Chris, Raka, and Hefrak. Let's go against another team here, guys. Let's go against the Go First team. This is a team with Baron and Mighty Uko and Arbiter, and it looks very scary. It looks very scary. So let's see how we can do here. So obviously they're going to go first. They're going to come in with Mighty Uko. They're going to stun nobody, which is nice. Here comes the big Sky Piercer from Mr. Baron. But again, that bolster doing a very, very good job keeping everybody alive. And we're going to come in here with just an A1. Can't land provoke on anybody, excuse me, because they do have block debuffs thanks to Pythion. So here we come again. Going to go in with the A2, percussive pound, and boom. That's a lot of damage. Man, if we only had that crit damage gear on him, guys, if we only had that crit damage, 2 of their 3 revivers would be down. But let's see if we can land some provokes here. We land 1. Okay. But they do have the revive up on Pythion. So we're going to go ahead and restart everything. Let's come in here and try to land a provoke. Or actually maybe kill Baron. Again, I mentioned that we have some damage on Seeker. Here comes another revival. The old triple revival team. You've got to love it, guys. Fan the flames. Take down Arbiter. Those speed boosts on Arbiter are insane. Let's go ahead and come on, land a provoke here on Mighty Uko. Seeker's great, man. Even on the Go Second team, he's a fantastic champion. We need to do a guide on Seeker here on the channel sometime soon. I'm going to take you guys over to Doom Tower after this match. I think you guys kind of get the point. The beautiful thing is, you know what? I'll do one more match after this in the arena as well. Because the beautiful thing about this champion is you can even use him. We always say kind of like go second, la la la. But I should have, well, it doesn't matter. They both had block debuffs. But the beautiful thing about him is you can use him on a Go First team as well. Like, you can use him as your main nuker, especially if you pull him kind of early on in the game, right? So here he comes, boom, and boom. Look at that. Look at that. The nice thing, too, is look at this team, man. They got 2 big, tanky Force Affinity Revivers, and we have a Spirit Affinity nuker. There's not that many great Spirit Affinity nukers out there. There's like Karato, Cleotyrix, Yannica, but especially when we talk about epic champions, there's not that many, or tanky Go Second possible champions. There's not that many out there. So I actually do not have my Arbiter built right now. So let me see what I can throw together for a speed team without Arbiter. All right, guys, so I decided to just keep the same Aura Lead and Mighty Uko, and then we went with Kymar and Madame Ceres, and basically the same idea here, but now hopefully we're going to go first, right? And we're going to check the damage once we actually have debuffs, decreased defense on all the enemies. Unfortunately, unable to remove. Man, let's just go with an A3 here, because I don't want to wake anybody up. And keep in mind, we do have the Opportunist Mastery, which is going to give us additional damage because 3 of them are under sleep. So this should be an easy, even with a negative affinity matchup here against Syl the Drakes and Ronda, we should be able to easily kill everybody here, and we do. Obviously, with the exception of the Stone Skin UDK, but we will get into him. The nice thing is we have, you know, why do I have it on auto style? All right, here we go. Let's go right back into it. Boom and boom. Dude, UDK is so ugly to take care of when he's the last man standing with that passive, right? He's so tanky. But the good news is when he's, look at that A3. I told you those multipliers are really, really solid there. All right, guys, let me go ahead and go to Doom Tower really quickly here. There is a secret room on Doom Tower Hard right now that is HP-based champions only. So here's the team, guys. I utilize this team, and I'm currently the best in the clan on Secret Room 2 in terms of turns. I'm sure I'm not anywhere near the leaderboard overall here, but you can see even in the leaderboard, look at this. You notice anything? 2 Magnars, a Magnarr, Magnarr, all over the place in terms of these best teams. The #1 team in the world is a Magnarr. Now, I wish I had Taurus. I don't have him on my account, so I can't get that high. But anyway, it goes to show that people are still using Magnarr, people with Tauruses, people with the best champions out there in the game. So let's go ahead and run this team together, and we'll see what kind of damage he can put out. I do want to say that Bivald of the Thorn and Eric's are really 2 of my favorite nukers out there inside the entire game. I think they're so incredibly powerful. So he has some stiff competition. We're going to come in here with the Percussive Pound. And again, that's some big boy damage there, right? That's some big boy damage. We have an AoE on the A1 as well on Eric. So she's got a lot of AoE potential in her kit. So we have Ursuga so slow, unfortunately. Ideally, she'd be going first, landing the debuffs, then passing the buck to everybody else, but we have her in a very slow arena build. Let's just keep going. Now, keep in mind here, guys, very important, that there's a lot of Magic Affinity champions that we're going against here, so that's a bummer. A negative affinity matchup, always the chance for weak hits, and the damage mitigation on top of that. However, we also only have one AoE attack. We're going against Bivald of the Thorn in terms of like this damage race here. We're going against two amazing legendary champions, both of whom, can we get back there? There we go. Both of whom have two strong AoE attacks, so consider that as well. And we're going to be able to hang with them pretty well considering. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to out-damage, especially Eric's, who's an absolute insane monster. But I should mention, too, that we have both Eric's and Bivald of the Thorn and what's-his-face here, Coronar. We have them all built out in nuke builds in this dungeon right now. So they're all built to do damage. They all have crit damage on their gauntlets. So here we go. Another big heavy hitter is Sir Nicholas, right? Let's go against Harvest Jack here. Nice, easy job taking him down. Of course, that debuff spread isn't doing much here. There are no burners on the team. Come with that A2. Again, heavy hitters there. This team is just really insane when you think about it in terms of the best, at least my personal faves. I'm going to save the AoE here, and instead we're just going to kind of take them down one at a time, right? Because I'd really love to stomp on that last wave. But I think that's going to put us over our turn limit in terms of beating our own time. So let's go in with the A1 here. Let's go in with the A2. Start landing some provokes. Here he goes, the big Magnarr coming in with his A2. Again, man, it's really a shame that we're wasting Ursuga's debuffs here, but she's just so slow, and she doesn't have it up right now anyway. Let's just go ahead and put the Ally Protect up. Who cares, right? All right, let's go A1, and we're not going to get back to another A2 from Magnarr, but we will have the shot at popping off somebody here. Let's just go over there. And this one's going to be over. Will we beat I think we might beat our previous turn record here. Let's just try to get in here and end this. Come on, man. Oh, boy. Let's end that. Oh, gross. Okay, Magnarr, you finish him. Okay, no one can do it. I hate when we choke at the very end, right? All right, let's see. 46, a new best. I like it. I like it. Man, as I predicted, right? Eric's puts out 1,000,000 damage, dude. But Magnarr, again, in a full alt nuke build, takes out damages Coronar and Bivald fairly easily and almost hangs with Eric's. Dude, that's really incredible in terms of the damage on this champion. What a great champion. Hopefully you found this guide useful and helpful, guys. Thank you so much for watching until the end of the video. If you have a champion that you want to see here on the channel, go ahead and let me know in the comments below. And speaking of that, let me go ahead and give a few shout-outs. Just Doka, man, I see you in every one of my comments. Much love for the support, dude. A lot of Magnarr requests. Jerome says, can you do a guide on Magnarr? Just got him. He's not putting out much damage. Hopefully you found this guide helpful. Jerome, ask again. Just Doka, ask again. Just Doka, ask again and again and again and again and again and again and again. Man, I love it, dude. I love it. You're coming at me with all the requests. Andre War says, can you do Magnarr? Absolutely, I can do Magnarr. Magnarr is done. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, take care, guys.